Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, November 26th, 2024. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Dryden Wire founder Ben Dryden, and you are watching, of course, Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience as locally owned and operated business, provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe it's the little things that make a big difference. Give them a call today, see what they can do for you. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. Fitzy, I had Tom Tiffany on recently, and I forgot to print the intro, and I literally started reading, like in my head, for the show. Positive Tuesday. And I was like, wait, wrong show. Yeah. Good morning.
Wrong show.
Yeah, I know it. And good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Dirk. Welcome, everyone. And Patty, she's watching on YouTube. Good morning, Patty. Yes, we are still streaming, multicast, something.
We're doing big time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. We had a lot to get to today. We'll get a hunting season update, so far from law enforcement, obviously from you. There was that tragedy. The 75-year-old struck and killed while removing a deer from Roadway. Just heartbreaking. Turtle Lake man sentenced in Barron County for possession of child sexual assault materials. Thanksgiving's coming up. You touched on that at the end of the show last week about Blackout Wednesday. Dirk Miller's weather forecast. Whole bunch, plus our NFL picks. But first, I was thinking about you recently.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
As I'm prone to do. Yeah. Good morning, Heather. There was a story that was out yesterday. We put it in our headline links this morning, and the headline was police officers who transfer to Milwaukee could get a $10,000 bonus under a new plan. I think you have to be there for 4 years before you get the $10,000. I'm curious. What are your thoughts about that?
That is a new trend you'll see more of. You'll see you've seen signing bonuses at bigger agencies like that. What happens is every year you stay, I think they give you $2,500. So it's not a $10,000 check at one time, which is the way to do it. They have to be a draw to some of these departments that have a big call volume and less staff. You see it a lot at State Patrol. You see not in Wisconsin, but you've seen. You can transfer to Texas for this or Alaska for this, and they'll pay your moving expenses. It's a new trend that to get officers, you have to do it to get officers. Now, we're not to that point to hit the sheriff's office, but we had to do lateral transfers. We did a lateral transfer in our last budget or in our last negotiations, where if you came from a department, you went to the higher pay instead of going to the bottom of the pay. You go to the middle of the boat instead of the bottom of the boat, and you get more vacation up front, and you get some other things up front. You're still the bottom guy, but you get more of that. So that's how we just got a 20-year veteran from the local PD to the sheriff's department because of our lateral transfers. So
Really,
you got to come up with two ways to get people, but yeah, that's the new trend.
I mean, I like well, I guess it's not outside the box thinking if that's the new trend. First of all, 10,000 isn't that much. I'm sorry, $10,000 is a lot. But over 4 years, you just said if it's $2,500 a year, 40-hour work weeks times 52, that's 2,080 divided by 2,500. That's 1.2. That's $1.20 an hour extra. Yeah. I'm just saying to be a Milwaukee police officer. Like I don't think like Mike Kronberger. Well, he's a chief. Or Warren Tuttle. Well, no, he'll be the next sheriff. Okay, so just average our area, Officer Jane, Officer Joe, probably isn't going to move to Milwaukee for $1.20 extra an hour. So I think maybe that would work if you get someone from Kenosha or Waukesha. Maybe they don't even have to move. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be big. And plus, how do other officers respond to that? Like, what are you talking about? How come this person who hasn't even been here is getting a $10,000 bonus? How about a loyalty check?
Right.
I don't know.
My guess is they must have gave a pay raise first, and then they do that second. So I can see that happening. But I don't know the answer to that, and you don't go in, you don't go in at the higher rate. So all our patrolmen, once they get to year 2, get paid the same. It's patrolman high. I mean, you get increases every year, but so all of our patrol people make the same 2 years in. which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to our area. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
plus, where's the loyalty there? Well, I don't know if the loyalty's a thing. We don't have that in sports or anything else. Hey, speaking of sports, wow, you did really well in the NFL picks last week.
Here I come. I can feel it.
You are. You're up to 50%. I was at a high at 79%. I just got killed. So there's where our picks are year to date. We always pick 4 games. We started something new last week to kind of help the person out, you, catch up a little quicker.
Right.
So now we kind of take turns on who we're going to pick, and then the other person just by default has to take the other team. So here's this week's picks. You get to go first. The first 2 games are on Thanksgiving, and then a noon game. I think that's the Chargers-Falcons game, and then an afternoon game. And that's the Ravens-Eagles. So go ahead, pick first.
I'll take the Packers.
All right. I will go. Boy, that Cowboys, I think even Cooper Rush, their backup quarterback, might be hurt. Maybe they'll have to play Trey Lance. Remember him? He was that number 1 round. I don't know. I'm still going to go with the Cowboys. It's Thanksgiving. It's the Cowboys,
right.
So I'll go Cowboys.
Whew. The next 2 are tough. I'm going to take Kirk Cousins and the Falcons.
Okay, that's a good one. And boy, those last 2 really are hard. I'll go Ravens just because they're at home. I'll go Ravens.
I had to pick the Eagles, so that's good. So
good.
I got so Giants, Packers, Eagles, Falcons. I got okay. Here we go.
Right.
4-0.
All right, we have a lot to get.
If the Cowboys lose on Thanksgiving to the Giants, it's going to be a bad day.
I mean, seriously, I think the Giants 2-9. Their starting quarterback is he's out. He's not even playing. I think there's rumor that he's going to go to the Cowboys, actually.
Yeah, there was rumors of that.
Yeah. All right, we got a lot to actually get to here, so we'll do that in 15 seconds after a word from Spooner Health.
Spooner Health, compassion is at the center of everything we do. It's rooted in who we are and why we're here. It unites us as providers, neighbors, and as a community. Learn more at SpoonerHealth.com.
Hey, speaking of Spooner Health, I think next week you're. Is it next week
I'm gone.
Yeah, so I think Mike Schaefer is filling in.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I think
he can make my picks for me. He can do the picks.
Do you want him to?
Yeah, I want him to make my picks. So he can make my picks.
That'll be fun. Yeah. Hey, before we get to some of our bigger stories, obviously there was that tragedy. 75-year-old struck and killed while removing deer from Roadway. We have an insider story I want to talk to you about. But first, just the hunting season. How's that going so far? Anything significant going on? From a law enforcement standpoint, of course.
Right. Nothing from a law enforcement standpoint. I came on opening morning and worked. Nothing. Couple trespassing calls, minor trespassing calls.
Which you predicted, by the way. Not really predicted, but you had mentioned that last week's show that we always get those.
It was a funny, it's not funny. I'm sure it's not funny, but obviously somebody passed away in the family and 2 brothers got the property and one brother fought the other brother in court to win it and he won it. And then the other brother went and hunted on it and he had to get kicked off. It's just like, come on, let's get along.
You actually brought up a very, almost an identical scenario to that in last week's show. Like, seriously. You're like The Simpsons, where you just predict all the future. We can look back now and see all these things that they said that came true. Because you had said that a property will go from one home to another, and then somebody doesn't know or think they still can, and it's like, nope.
This was 2 brothers, and they had to kick the one brother off. And I'm like, okay, that's how it is. It's all right. Life's too short, man.
So you went out Saturday. You had said last week that that's one of your favorite days is to go out Saturday morning. How did that go?
It was good. It wasn't real busy. I saw some deer in the back of trucks, and saw some smiling kids at Quick Trip hunting with their dad, getting their donut and their chocolate milk, taking them out to the stand. So smiles are worth it. It was a big day for a lot of people. It was good weather, no snow yet. I was starting to snow, and now I see it's gone away. So I think, good weather. It's going to be cold this week, and Dirk will get to that. But no hunting issues, no hunting tragedies. We're looking forward to a great end of the week.
I'm really curious to find out the results of this hunting season because hunting has been kind of down the last few years. And I kind of noticed the same thing. Just driving around on Saturdays, running a few errands and Sunday as well. I didn't see as many, deer in the back of vehicles that I usually have in the past.
Right.
I'll just be interested to see. Because if, as soon as we start getting to that point in northern Wisconsin, if like the deer population is down or what a number of other factors, that people will just go somewhere else. And we can't have that just from an economic standpoint. We need that revenue coming in. So that's interesting that you observed that it wasn't super busy. You didn't really see a ton.
I didn't see, you don't see an orange in the woods. You used to be able to drive through a county road and see an orange way off in the distance here and orange way off over here, and didn't see that. So it's some trucks in the fields, so I know they were hunting. You see on Facebook some big bucks that people got, but you don't see a ton of them. I was talking to a few people here, they didn't see anything, and some people got a doe, and but yeah, so hopefully people are getting the deer that they want, it's been a safe hunt. That's all I care about. It's
good.
Safe.
Well, I went out to my parents' house Saturday morning, and they're in Shell Lake. We're in Spooners, but I took the back roads because it's just shorter. And I used to see vehicles parked on the side like almost the whole way. You'd see like 20, 25. I think we saw 2. And I remember even commenting that's weird. You used to see a lot more. Good morning, Rick and Alicia Stelling. They're watching on YouTube. And good morning, Mike. Oh, we just got finished talking about you, Mike. You have to watch the replay. Apparently, you're going to be doing the picks for Fitzy next week, so you may want to go back and watch that one. Watch us earlier. All right.
I trust you, Mike. You're good.
Yeah. And we did run the commercial. Just to be clear.
Your bill's in the mail.
Yeah. So you had a press release, I think it was last Wednesday. Our headline was 75-year-old struck and killed while removing deer from Roadway. That was, such a tragedy. For people who didn't see that, it was on our website, on our Facebook page. I'm sure it was on your Facebook page as well. But for people who didn't see that, what was the situation?
Yeah, that was a very tragic accident, and that's what we're calling it. We don't believe there's nothing criminal. We had a subject hit a deer. Him and his wife were coming back from Turtle Lake going towards Barron. Struck a deer. He got out. Another guy stopped and said, the guy that hit the deer said, "Hey, you want to help me move this?" So they walked out in the traffic. It's the 2-lane, where it opens up from Turtle Lake. It's 2 lanes going be east and 1 lane going west. And they were in the middle of the 2 lanes, and cars wouldn't stop for them or didn't see them. And then one of them struck him, one of the people, and then that pushed him into another car, which pushed him into another, almost into a semi. So it's a very, very tragic accident. And I feel bad for everyone involved, the people that hit him, the guy's wife that was there. It was just one of those ones where you went home and went, nah, this sucks. This is our job, and it sucked, and our first responders and fire departments did an unbelievable job again, and they shouldn't have to deal with that. And just call us and let us get the deer off the road for you, and that's what you should do. I get it. He was trying to help out, so he can't fault them for trying to save someone else, because if they would have hit this, it was a huge buck that was blocking the whole traffic lane going west, and it just a bad one, just terrible.
But when you get to a scene like that, you still have to do an investigation. You said that you were calling it an accident. Is that the official answer, or is that we're investigating as a tragedy, as an accident? Is that like the official outcome, or is it that's what we're investigating as? Where the preliminary investigation suggests it's just an accident?
Yeah, preliminary suggests that this was an accident. No one was under the influence of alcohol or anything like that. There was no contributing factors, but we are going to look at it and make sure that the State Patrol reconstructed it, make sure no one is going 100 miles an hour or doing something they shouldn't have been doing, or, but based on everything that I've learned, this is going to be a straight up accident. But we will send it to the district attorney's office, as we send all of our cases to them, and let them review it. And based on my 20 years of experience, this one's going to be ruled an accident.
All right. Well, real quick, Mike chimed in, by the way, about the picks. Can't really do any worse. Well, he's been doing it. He's on a streak. He's either tied or won the last 3 weeks.
That's right.
All I have to do is put in the Vikings, and he'll pick the Vikings. That's it.
That's right.
That's it. So if this is kind of ruled that way, so that fascinates me, and I'm not trying to find blame or fault for anyone or have anyone get charged with anything. But usually, I guess I just assume that if somebody dies, that there's somebody that is quote unquote at fault. Are there scenarios where that could be it's a no fault? It truly is an accident, because that doesn't happen a ton of times, right?
We don't determine fault though. So in a regular car accident, car A hits car B, we don't determine fault. We determine if there was a violation of any traffic laws. Your insurance company determines fault. So I'm not saying from an insurance standpoint, someone doesn't have to pay this. We don't determine fault. We determine a violation of the law. Did you fail right away? Did you not stop at the stop sign? Were you speeding? Where you didn't have your signal on? Whatever it is, that's what we determine. We don't determine anything else.
Right. You don't determine charges. That's the district attorney. You know, determine fault. That's the insurance or the district attorney. Right.
He doesn't do it based on fault either. He does it based on violation of the law. And then your insurance company determines, hey, you were 10% at fault, or you were 80% at fault, or you were 100% at fault, or whatever it is. So that's what our insurance company does. I don't like to have them reconstructed for insurance companies. That's not our job. That's not the State Patrol's job. But at the time I had ordered the reconstruction, I didn't have all the statements from all the people that were there and involved. Once you put everything together, maybe didn't have to reconstruct it, but I also wanted to determine that one of them wasn't speeding, passing, anything like that. And it's not going to, I assume it's not going to be that based on the statements that I've heard from my deputies. But obviously the State Patrol will recon it and they will get it back to us, in a few months.
How does that work from a financial standpoint? When you, so walk us through just how that process works. So you just said that you're the one that requested, or I'm assuming that was you. You had said that I don't know if you meant you as in the sheriff or as first of all, who makes that decision? If you're gone.
I mean, my team, my administrative team, either myself, my chief deputy, or my captain, make that determination of we're going to recon it. We normally recon all deaths. Single vehicles, we don't normally recon. But due to the severity of this one, there was a semi involved that really wasn't involved, that ultimately was not involved, but it's called a non-contact vehicle, and that was not involved, so that's not even tied to this case. But there were some different things in here, so we bring the experts in. The State Patrol was put here to do traffic enforcement and traffic reconstruction, so we call the experts in and they recon it. And we got to make sure, so I don't know who from an insurance standpoint will be at a fault for this one, but
so going back to the reconstruction part. So when you do make that call, your team, your chief deputy, your captain, to have to make the decision to recon it, you call Wisconsin State Patrol. Do they have their own team? This isn't like State Patrol troopers doing it, right? Or is it? Or do they have their own team, like NCIS, or like their own State Patrol team that specifically does this?
It's called TRU unit, Traffic Recon Unit, a reconstruction unit. They specialize in this, but they are troopers also. So it's like being a deputy and being on the SWAT team. They're just troopers, and they specialize in this. Now, because there isn't many people that specialize in this, they get called out to these. They're pretty much strictly a TRU unit, and that's all they do is go around to every fatality in the 10-county area, which sucks. Would be a sucky job. Because every car you go to is a smashed up car with someone passed away in it. So they don't charge us for that. That's a service that they don't charge.
Okay, that was another question I was going to ask: is what is is there a financial aspect to this? Because we've talked about that regarding like SWAT, and I know that's not SWAT, but it's SWAT, right? Just whatever we always call it.
No, that makes sense. No, I agree. That's a good question.
But like with SWAT, you have to, not have to, but you, as an administrator and as a politician, probably more the administrator role itself, you always have to kind of balance that. And I know we've talked about that before, and that some people are upset that you're sending out a SWAT team for something that they don't feel as though you needed to, and how much would that actually cost, and et cetera. I was just curious if that also ties into it, but it sounds like there's no charge at all, so that's kind of that's really nice that it doesn't charge you, doesn't cost you anything.
And we used to have, years ago, we had a deputy trained in it, but it takes a lot of training, and you got to upkeep the training, and so we're considering sending someone to traffic reconstruction unit school to have our own, because there is a delay when you have the State Patrol come. They come all the way from Eau Claire, south of Eau Claire. So it was an hour and 20-minute wait to get the troopers there. So then your road's closed another hour. That's why you see your road closures are so long. So you're waiting an hour and a half before you can touch anything. You take pictures. You can't move the body. You can't move vehicles. You have all these people there. So the only bad part is the distance that they have to travel. But they use some pretty neat technology now. Drones footage, things like that. It's the technology is there. And then ultimately they do all crime scenes too. Like if we had a murder at a house, we would call them in the recon, the TRU unit, to do a recon of the house. And they gives you a 4D image of the house. The technology is really great. So then when you go to court, you can literally say, this is the exact layout of the room. This is where the couch was. This is where the body was. This is where the gun was found. This is where, and you can show the jury that. So it's kind of like TV. I mean, the technology that the State Patrol has is pretty impressive when it comes to crime scenes also. We've used that for some of our crime scenes too.
So I didn't know this was for crime scenes. Didn't know that. Well, I'm learning so much already. What do you mean 4D? What's that?
It's basically I don't know. It's 4D is what they tell me. And it makes the image look like real. Like it can show you the inside 3D? Of the house.
Like I don't know what 4D is. I don't have to Google that. Yeah. That's weird. But that's awesome. Yeah, because there's most times, as we've talked before, what you see on TV isn't really how it is. But that's kind of interesting.
I'm looking it up right now. 4D image. What's the definition? What is a 4D image?
Yeah.
Is a technique that combines 3D image with the one more. No, I'm just kidding. It's a technique that combines 3D images with time, such that the movement and variation can be observed and analyzed in a more accurate way. So,
I'll have to see some examples of that. I'll have to Google it and get some examples. Picture? Yeah, 40.
You can show angles of stuff. So you can move the picture and see it from a different angle.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, so it's not just like the image, but you're able to move the camera, as it were, or the.
Right. So you can say, "Oh, look from behind the couch, it looks like this. From the front of the couch, it looks like this," and everything stays the same. That's what it looks like. So anyway, we learned something new.
Yeah. So what is the takeaway here? I mean, obviously it's horrible and it's tragedy. What's the takeaway? I don't want to say lesson necessarily, and I don't know if there's a whole lot of positive that comes out of this one. What is there? Is it what you had mentioned earlier? Thank you for trying, but it's perfectly fine. And in fact, we would encourage, just call us. We will remove the deer. You don't need to do that.
You can see what he was doing, because the next guy that hits it's going to crash. So he's really trying to save somebody else from bad things. But man, it's a busy road. It was raining. It was dark. There was all these factors. It was cold. I mean, the cold doesn't matter, but it's just, I don't know. There's no good out of this one. And I tried to find it and I can't on this one. So that one, it was tough on our first responders. It was different.
I can only imagine. About how many people go out to that, first responders, out of curiosity? 5?
The whole Turtle Lake Fire Department and first responders, that had to be, I would suggest, 20 people. We had all of day shift, all of night shift. So I had 10, 11, 12 deputies there. Turtle Lake had 1. The State Patrol had 3. So, we're talking 30 people at a scene like that.
Wow.
So, and then they blocked the road, and of course, people went around our barricades again, and I'm going to start citing people and towing their cars. The next person that drives around the barricade. I mean, the lady's just like, "Why the detour signs and somebody smashed right into them because they didn't see them. Big flashing road closed sign, and they smashed right into it." You got to pay attention, and you got to stop, and you got to take the detour, no matter how much of a hurry you're in. But people think they can just scoot right through, and it's okay for them. Well, if we let you do it, then everybody gets to do it, and then I might as well not close the road. So, it's frustrating, and it's not safe for us because we got the road closed. And we don't think there's cars coming, and then this guy comes up to the scene saying, "Hey, I'm just trying to get to wherever." And I'm like, "Well, the road's closed. You can't go this way." He's like, "Well, I'm just going to get through quick." And I'm like, "No, you're not. You're going to turn around and you're going
See
to
the
follow
detour
the detour."
sign? See all the cops here? You moron. I mean, jeepers.
I didn't say that, but
Well,
you know,
I'll go and I'll start doing that for you. You just next time that happens, I'll go sit on the outskirts.
I'll be the 31st guy, and your job is to tell people.
Yeah. Oh, what a
You call it
tragedy.
like it. Yeah.
Oh, terrible tragedy. Speaking of Turtle Lake, we had an insider story, and this wasn't a part of the. I don't believe the sheriff's office was a part of this one, but it was in Barron. Our headline was a Turtle Lake man sentenced in Barron County for possession of child sexual assault materials. I have a quick little summary here for people who didn't see that. An investigation by the basically DCI, with assistance from the Turtle Lake Police Department, led to the conviction of Frank Keela, 58 of Turtle Lake, on one count of Class D felony possession of child pornography. I believe there was 6 originally, but it was pled down to 1. Keela was sentenced to 6 years, including 3 years of initial incarceration and 3 years of extended supervision by Barron County Circuit Court Judge Maureen Boyle. The investigation began in 2023 after agents identified a device sharing explicit files on an online network. Evidence gathered included 235 downloaded files and videos found on USB drives belonging to Keela. As part of his sentence, Keela must complete a sex offender assessment, undergo treatment and counseling, and register as a sex offender for 15 years. What are your thoughts on that, the sentencing for that?
Looks good. I mean, that one's a good. I think that's a good sentence. I think we're good with that. Yeah, I mean,
me too. If it was
it's an ongoing thing, and it's pretty much this 3 years in, 3 years out, I'll take it. Don't do child porn, and
if you actually read the whole story, I mean, you have to be an insider to read it, but it's fascinating. About what that whole situation was in this whole world that I did not realize kind of existed. That it's not just about like going on the internet. There's like certain servers, and then people have to download a program in order to access these things. It's crazy. We should probably get like a DC. Well, I don't want to like give bad guys here's how you do it. But it'd be fascinating to have someone from a DCI on, or someone that could speak with expertise and knowledge about how these things actually work, because it's not just like you went on Google and you just search these images. It's not that. Well, I mean, there is always some of that.
Right.
But some of these other things, it's nuts. I mean, how much work they go through to try to get around law enforcement. It's crazy.
Right. No, it's you got to go to the dark web. I learned a little bit about this. We had a little training here, and my chief deputy is an expert in this. He did this for a lot of years. Both from the child porn and from the drug world, the dark web, and you got to have an onion, and then you got to download things. And so it's not illegal to go to the dark web, which I
may or may not every once in a while. And I do use Tor, right? If anybody knows what that is.
It's not illegal to go to the dark web, because the dark web, which I learned, is regular web. You can go to the dark web and still search football pics, and you still get football pics. It's still the internet. It's a bigger internet.
Wildly bigger. Have you ever seen those memes where it shows like the tip of an iceberg, and it's usually something funny like this is whatever, and then you see the whole iceberg under the water? Yeah, the dark web is actually under the water. More people are on the dark web, like like an egregious amount. It's ridiculous how many. Exactly right. Yeah, and I use VPNs and things like Tor because I don't want the government tracking every single thing I'm doing. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm going to all the same sites that I always go to, ESPN and Bro Bible and just regular places. I just don't want advertisers and everything else knowing everything that I'm doing. It makes me a little uncomfortable. But it's incredible. So I guess on this one, it's good, right? 6 years with 3 years in, 3 years out. If it was like a Facebook reaction, I would give it like a thumbs up. I wouldn't give it a heart. I wouldn't love it because I always want more when it comes to anything regarding kids. But I'd give it a thumbs up. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, we'll take it.
And and you're going to see a press release coming up about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and we have 2 serious sex offenders getting out of prison and getting released into Barron County. And they're very serious ones. They're called level 1s. And so they're under a lot. So it's just on the site, because I see you had to register for 15 years as a sex offender.
Yeah.
These are lifetime people that are finally getting out of prison after like 40 years.
Oof.
And they're, and so you'll see a large press release. I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about it, but that's coming up. They're being housed in a special house in the county, in the country. There's no kids within so many feet of it. There's no churches. There's no schools. It's a pretty desolate area. I'm sure someone's going to be upset that they're going there. But that's the state of Wisconsin places them. The sheriff's department doesn't have a say in that. No. We don't have to be placed back here. They're both criminals from Barron County. So they've been trying to place them for like a year and a half. It's taken a year and a half to find housing for them. We finally found housing for them. They'll be placed. They'll be monitored. They can't leave their house. There's a lot of restrictions into these. So some of these people are getting out nowadays, not the child porn people. They don't have to register like this, but we have some serious sex offenders that are getting out of prison. Kind of full tilt to my career. Not that my career is over, but you're seeing some of the people that I helped put away get out of prison after years, and it's kind of different. I never thought I'd be that guy, but I'm that guy now. I remember putting one of these guys away or helping part of the team that put the guy away. And I was a young cop, and so now he's getting out after 22 years in prison, and he's got very strict rules. And so, people are going to be upset. They don't think they should get out. The judge lets them out. I don't get a say. So we'll talk a lot more about that. There'll be a press release after we have a meeting with probation, I think next week. And then you'll see a press release after that to make sure that they're for sure getting out. They haven't had any violations lately. Because if they do have a violation, they can't get out. There's certain rules. So,
sure.
We'll have a lot more talk on sex offenders over the next couple of weeks.
Well, that'll be good, because if Mike Schaefer's filling in for you next week, and if it's not going to be out until mid to end of next week, then we can talk about it when you come back. On the
it'll be the Tuesday that I am on. It'll get released that Monday. Actually, I think they get released on that Wednesday. So,
okay.
You'll get it prior to the weekend.
So 2 weeks. That's what we'll talk about there. So I was watching a TV show recently, and somebody had to go and knock on their door and say that they were a sex offender, and I moved into the area. And I actually kind of forgot about that part, that you have to do it. Is that really a thing, or is that like a TV show thing?
Sex offender do it. We do it, and we will do a neighborhood notification.
No. I just mean, like, if somebody moved, if you're a sex offender, first of all, do you have to, or is that a TV thing? Do you have to let someone know that I'm a registered sex offender and I live here now, or your neighbor?
It depends on the level. Like, these are the only 2 level ones. I don't know what the level. I think it's level 1 they call them. Okay. I can't remember. But these are the only 2 level ones I think we have in the county. There might be one other one that got released like 20 years ago in the city of Rice Lake. And they didn't have the rules that they had now, or probably that guy wouldn't be living there. But you get grandfathered in when you change the rules. But I think there's only like 3 level 1s in the county. No,
and they're both getting out for no particular. Why or 2? Well, we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. 2 of
them are getting out. They just have to be getting out at the same time. It had to do with housing.
Housing. Okay.
It strictly has to do with housing. And now we found a house, and they can both live at the same house.
Yeah.
So.
Steve had a comment, and I forgot to put it up. This is on their last topic. It's truly amazing what some people do when they see flashing lights. And now, like most people, like the Gawker syndrome or whatever, when you see flashing lights, you typically slow down. But apparently there's some people. Maybe they'll slow down, but it's like, well, I'm just slowing down so I can go around it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Thanksgiving, you touched on this last week as well. For people who don't remember, we've talked about this every year, is Blackout Wednesday, that's so crazy that we literally have a name for it. I think that's what it's called, right? Blackout Wednesday?
It is called Blackout
Wednesday. I didn't even know that was a thing. For people who don't know what that is, what is that?
That is the last, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. All the kids come home from college. It's their first time home, back seeing their friends, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts. Everybody's home. So what do? Let's go out to the bar. We don't have to get up early in the morning. Because dinner's not till noon, so we can have a couple. But we just want everybody to have a good, safe Thanksgiving. Don't go to jail on Wednesday night because you're not getting out till Friday. You will miss Thanksgiving if you.
Friday? Wait a minute. I thought government business, all that stuff was closed on Friday.
Courts are open on Friday. Government's closed. Courts are open.
What do you mean?
Well, the county's closed.
Well, like I don't
But
think
they-
Jerusha. Well, I think she took the week off, but she works at the county. I don't think. Maybe they do
We
have
have
to.
court on Friday.
Maybe. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
you're
guess I don't
not
know.
gonna get out on Thursday though for Thanksgiving. So we want everybody to make sure that they're safe on Wednesday. But it's a very heavy drinking night. Designated driver, make a plan now. And we want to we want to get you to Thanksgiving. That's all we're asking for. Go out, meet your friends, meet your college roommates, meet your brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, whoever it is. Be safe, drive safe. Don't get an OWI. Don't make Thursday morning regrettable.
Have an exit strategy, right? Make the decision before you go. That's what you and I always talk about. It's
One of
both fun.
them-
And if
one
you
of
want to
us
go to the
isn't
bar
like-
and get blasted, go ahead. Just make
Yeah.
the plan before you go
Call
there
me, I'll
to
pick you
know
up.
how you're going to get home. That's it. It's so simple.
Right.
Nothing. So bizarre.
It's just so simple that we need to do. So it's a big day. It's a big travel day. There's lots of people. Everybody. We want everybody to have a great Thanksgiving, a great holiday season. It's the kickoff to a great month. We can have good things here, but it all starts tomorrow. Huge travel day, huge drinking day, huge family day on Thursday. Finish out hunting, kick off the Christmas holiday. We have Shop with the Cop on Monday night at Walmart, biggest cop day of the year. So at Farm and Fleet and Walmart we'll be at this year. We have 78 kids. We're taking shopping. They buy gifts for their members of the family. They can buy one thing for themselves. So this is a giving day for them also. Adventures has a big meal for us, but big day Monday night. Go to Walmart. Don't shoplift on Monday from Walmart. You're gonna
right. Right. Yeah. And don't send me messages about there's a huge police presence at Walmart. That happens every single year. Every
What's going
year
on?
I get a whole bunch of messages.
We're all backed in perfectly in a row, but yeah, there's a big call.
Oh my
We
goodness.
just work perfectly.
Oh, that's great. And we'll check out the weather. So here's our official weather forecast from our official
I
weather
don't want to see
person.
it. I heard it's cold.
Okay. Well, we should take bets on this. Okay. So, So today, the highs are in the red up there. Looks like 25 to 30, pretty much 20, basically 20s. Teens of 20s for highs this week. That's nice. Mostly sunny. Lows are in 15 to 20. This morning I was up and it was like 4:30, which I usually get up. And the temperature, according to AccuWeather, was 17 degrees and the real feel was 9 degrees. It's like, holy cow, it's freaking cold this morning.
Friday looks kind of windy. The wind, if we don't have wind that we can all handle, 25, 30, even 5 to 10, it's good ice making weather for our fishermen and our lakes with no snow. That's a big deal. So if we can keep the cold temperatures, our lakes will be safe. And then we get some snow, and then it makes our snowmobile trails perfect for a big season. So we're looking down the road at that. So
it's and no snow. I see that in here. And by the way, just as a reminder, like we talked about last week, Dirk is doing this for like our 6-county coverage area. That's a large area. So if it's it may be slightly different from Amory in Polk County to Radisson and Sawyer County, which is like 2 hours difference. But still, that's
Speaking of Sawyer County, though, they've been having lots of fires, and I'm Sheriff Morotech. He's got a lot of things out there. If you see anything suspicious up in Sawyer County, report it. Call 911. Fires, call 911. I mean, they've had some fires. We've got
what's
some
up with
tips
that?
down here.
Well, there was a car in Spooner that was on fire the next day. So within 24 hours, there's one in Spooner. I even called the chief, and I'm like, "So connection?" He's like, "We're looking into it." Right?
Yeah.
He's like, we
And they are.
we
And
can't
they are
say
looking
yes or
into
no. We're looking in to see if there's anything there. But
he's asking for people's help because somebody had to have seen something. I have my theories on it, but I don't know.
What's your theories?
True.
Come on. What are they?
I can't. I don't know. I don't want to give it out because I've talked to some of the DCI guys.
Okay.
But they're heavily looking into this. Help. These businesses burned down and had fires at them. So let's get it. They do not have somebody in custody. That was weird because you posted a story about a Russ County arsonist.
I did.
So they thought
Right.
that was tied in. That's not tied in.
No.
So everybody's like, they caught him. It's in Russ County. I'm like,
no,
different story, different day.
Read the story.
So-
It's from like a while ago. It was just the
Unless
update.
they
on the
caught
story.
somebody recently.
Since then.
I don't know that. and you don't have anything.
I haven't heard
But
anything.
I know Sheriff Rotek was still looking, but hopefully they did catch somebody. Maybe they caught somebody yesterday. So
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So that was it was coincidence that we just did the story about someone
Ross
doing
County.
it. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't some kind of a weird connection somehow, way, shape, or form, but I have no reason to believe that because this had happened previously that had nothing to do. Well, I'm sorry. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with this. It was because obviously that person was already arrested and he was already charged, and that's a whole long process. So
So,
but that
no, I
was
don't think
probably
so.
a little.
Great travel weather. Have a great Thanksgiving. Wear your seatbelts. Don't drink and drive. Have a great holiday season. Bell ringing starts for the Salvation Army. They do a lot of good. So if you see a bell ringer, throw a buck and two in there. They're great. We're looking forward to a great kickoff here. Big weekend. End is on Monday night for us with a great Shop with the Cop. Going to do some hockey this weekend. Jace has moved up to a team where it looks like we're going to Duluth tomorrow night.
What?
He's got moved up to the Wisconsin Wendigo, which is the Null team. So, and he had scored his first Null goal the other night. So that was pretty big. So we're having some fun with hockey still.
There's junior leagues in hockey. It's like soccer. How many freaking leagues of soccer are there?
Yeah, a lot. So
no kidding.
But there is two, and he made it to the top tier here, and we're looking forward to it. And so he's going to play up there for, I know, at least one more day, and he might get moved back down. So it's not a catch-all here. We're going to be there all. So I will go to Walmart and get pictures for you.
Then I will call you about all the cops there. Oh, thanks, Dirk. That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Lions are only cops.
Yeah, it happens all the time. That's crazy. All right, and then by the way, go Cowboys, go Dolphins, go Ravens, and go I think Chargers, right? For me.
Yep, you have the Chargers.
Yeah. And by the way, go Bears. I'm telling you, the line on them is they're 13.5 or something like that. That they're not going to win. Who do the Bears play?
I don't remember.
Lions. Right, Lions. Thanksgiving. And Lions are most people think are the best team in the NFL, and there's a lot of reasons to think that. So it'll be rough. It'll be rough.
Yeah.
We're hosting Thanksgiving here at the house. We're gonna have like 20 people here of our family, and it's not that big of a house. So, but I love it. I love family. You know that, man. Being around them, it's just I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Well, here's to you and your family, Ben. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. My coffee's getting cold. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Dryden Wire founder Ben Dryden, and you've been watching The Big Show, Positive Tuesday. And, he's on the naughty list. Positive Tuesday benefit presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors with 20 years of experience as locally owned and operated. But can I ban someone right from here?
Can you put them right on the dark?
With 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of a home or business. Yes, I am. That's where our family was from. So Chicago, of course I am. It's like a birthright in our family. I never think they're going to win, but, see what they can do for you. Give them a call today. I'm never going to get through this. 715-520-2271. Happy Thanksgiving to Steve. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Fitzy's off again next week, but our good friend Spooner Health CEO Mike Schaefer will be joining me for, I believe, his contractually obligated appearance on the show. So until next
year, I got to make that one in.
So until next week, thank you for watching, and as always, have a blessed day. Oh, see now, he is a Bears fan, I believe. All right, I'll unban you.